Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our keynote speaker, Mr. Prasenjit Datta Barua, Business Head, Facebook India and South Asia. He will express his views on building a zero-friction future for automobile purchase. Do you have a presentation? Yeah, all right. Mr. Prasenjit Datta Barua heads the Automotive, Telecom and New Business for India and South Asia at Facebook, playing a key role in building and maintaining strategic relationships with key clients in the region. Prior to joining Facebook, he was Group Head Marketing at the Oberoi Group of Hotels. He started his career with Usha International, followed by retail leader Shoppers Stop, then leading multiple roles in financial services with Max New York Life and MetLife. Mr. Barua has been featured in the Campaign India A-list of top 100 marketers and is also a member of a number of industry forums on which he is a regular speaker and contributor. He is passionate about connecting people and off-roading. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I know I'm actually going to create a lot of friction between you and the lunch, so I'll make it as soon as possible. And thank you so much for having me here. It's interesting to talk to a group of people whose industry is based on creating friction, whether it's on the engine or on the tires of the road, and talk to you about zero friction. But I assure you, friction is something that your customers do not want. And I'm going to talk to you in the next 15 or maybe 20 minutes at max about how we see zero friction future. So what does the future of business look like is where I'm going to throw a question at you. So some thinking before we get into lunch. So this is a report we did with KPMG and we launched it just 2 weeks back at an event. This was where we actually examined how friction breaks down versus on the entire marketing funnel and how we can reduce that. So how can we change the consumer experience? Some questions to ask. So let's imagine, right? How many of you have you ordered pizzas from Domino's? Pizzas? Great. They seem quite ubiquitous here. So think about this. When you order a pizza from Domino's, you go to the app or you go to the website or you call. He'll ask you what topping, what base, you want and all the other five or six or seven questions are asked. And finally, the pizza gets delivered in 30 minutes. It is still a wow experience compared to going to a restaurant, spending 3 hours to just have a pizza when you don't have the time. But what if you wanted to have a pepperoni pizza or a chicken pizza and you just WhatsApped or messaged an emoji of that to Domino's and they sent you that pizza? That's even lower friction than what I just told you about. What if you walked into a car showroom, you loved the car, okay, it was affordable, and you just had to ask for a loan, and in 3 minutes you get an emergency loan, and you can go pick up the car of your dreams. You know, just imagine there's no waiting at all. What if you could test drive a car without stepping out of your house? And I know there were different views in a couple of sessions before, but trust me, I started off my career with Usha International, then went to Shoppers Stop. There was a time then in Shoppers Stop we thought women would never buy clothes online. And I'm talking about 2001, by the way. This is not 1971. I'm not that old yet. It's 2001 where we said women will touch and feel the fabric before they will actually purchase. They'll probably buy some things that are not very important, which are very few, by the way. However, they'll touch and feel every fabric before they buy. Anyone heard of Myntra? Jabong? Ajio? I mean, the list goes on and on, right? People are building businesses on women's fashion now. So here's the deal, right? 10, 12 years is nothing in today's day and age. Things change. So a lot of things can happen. What if you could type directly from your brain? There's actually a discussion happening out there when using your neuron signals, you can start typing and actually pushing your thoughts. You won't have to use a phone. You won't have to use a phone screen or a phone button to actually go talk to people about this. Things are happening. There's a lot of research happening. Consumers aren't interested in your journey. They want things now. That's exactly what's happening right now. You give it to me now. But when I'm on a mobile phone, on a low data connection, I know it's become much better with Geo happening there, etc. But your phone starts buffering. Is this now? No, this is not now. You go to a website. It takes time to load. Is it now? No, it's not now. How often has this happened to all of us? Our offices are closed at 5 a.m. Please call back at 9 a.m. I'm in an important meeting. Can you stay awake till 6 p.m.? Is it difficult? No. That's friction again. So this is great friction, and friction is very, very frustrating. Very frustrating. And frustration crosses laws to business, to banks, to builders. Friction leads consumers to abandon or defer their journeys. So the way we saw this was, we actually looked at friction across the marketing funnel, right? So you went to awareness, consideration, intent, and purchase. And at every stage, there is friction. So the types of friction, just give me a minute, please. There's awareness friction, there's consideration friction, there's intent friction. And just to give you a little more, to break this up a little more, there's media friction and there's non-media friction. Examples of non-media friction: lack of relevance. So you don't want to buy the car today, so it's not relevant to you. That's non-media friction. However, I want to buy a car today, but I'm a lady who's looking at a different color set and you are targeting a different kind of car to me. That's irrelevant targeting. That's media friction. Lack of need for product or brand, like I explained, is non-media friction. But you target a person who does not know how to speak English, okay, in an English ad. That's non-media, that's media friction. So how do you get more relevant? Similarly, on consideration, reviews could be non-media friction, but lack of expert advice could be media friction. So on and so forth. You have various examples. So what we did was, as part of the research report, which I'd be happy to talk to you about later also at lunch, is we split this between media and non-media friction. So what we saw in the report was, out of 100 people in a market, 33 people were in market at any given point of time. Out of those 33 people, 26 people got lost out because of friction, total friction. Out of which 26% of them got lost out because of friction, out of which 9% was, that's 1/3 of that was caused by media friction. And I'll explain to you what media friction would that be. So in awareness, we saw points like: prospect finds too little information about the product, about the car they want to buy, doesn't know what to do next after watching the ad. I saw a lovely ad on television, I don't know what to do next. I saw a lovely ad on the paper, I don't know what to do next. I drive by a lovely outdoor hoarding, I don't know, and I'm beside what to do next. Ads aren't visual enough, or prospect did not pay enough attention. No expert advice or answers are available on the consideration phase. Too many brands are advertised. I'm confused. I've gone and seen 5 different brands. I don't know what to buy. Offer communication is not clear. Intent friction would be not able to easily contact brand or dealership representative. I make a phone call, no one picks up the phone. Or someone puts me on some great long hold. Did not get enough information on financing options, etc., etc. Broke this down further into awareness, consideration, and intent friction being created across various media channels. The numbers are up there to see. So radio, print, outdoor, online, television, and the showroom dealership. Obviously, the closer you go down to the sales, the friction reduces. So dealership is the least friction. But when you start from a radio, print, outdoor, 67, 60, 58, 56, 51, there's huge amount of friction happening here. We hear a great ad on the radio, we are driving to office or driving back. I'm not going to stop my car and make a phone call. I'll forget about it the next moment. I see a great ad on TV, I don't know what to do. So how do we capture the intent that we've generated as marketeers, as interested people, and take it to sales? That's all about reducing friction. So what can solve for it? What's ubiquitous to all of us right now? Mobile phones, right? Everyone in this room has, if not two, at least one mobile phone in their pockets and their hands right now. Everyone is on the devices 24 hours a day nowadays at the rate we're going. And these are some interesting numbers you should look at. So 38% internet users saw an ad online for the first time. Internet users use social network on mobile, 90% of them. 80% internet users search for a product on mobile. 59% used a price comparison service on mobile. 69% purchased the product on mobile. And 51% posted a review on mobile. So this device, the mobile device, has become completely part of our lives. You don't go onto desktops, you don't make phone calls anymore, you don't write letters. We all did that when we were smaller, but all on the mobile phone. So therefore, can we use the mobile device to reduce friction? The answer is maybe yes. So mobile lower, so consumers experience lower, and so when we spoke to the consumers, they all got back saying, we experience lower friction when we use mobile versus traditional media. And also, the mobile phone compacts journeys. We did that test about Domino's pizzas in the beginning. We spoke about online women fashion. It just makes it, you can book tickets so easily nowadays on ClearTrip or any other travel app that you want to go to, but it just makes it so much more convenient and easy. So here's what we looked at, and we saw this. According to the report, by 2022, that's 5 years from now, 8 out of 10 four-wheeler purchases will be influenced by mobile phones, by mobile influenced. And the breakup is all there. So in the awareness stage, 78%, consideration, 84%, 86, 81. And overall, now the number of units there on the slides is not an additional amount of cars being sold. So let me clarify, it's not incremental, but it's within the pool of cars, there's 3 odd million currently being sold, the amount of cars that will get influenced by mobile. So 2.1 million in 2017 will go to 4.5 million in 2022. On the other hand, for two-wheelers, on mobile phones. Facebook, on the other hand, because it's so ubiquitous, 97% of the 280 million people who are on Facebook in India are on it through mobile, and they only browse through mobile. Facebook, at least the way we see it in the report, will influence 1.1 million of these sales as we go by, as 1.1 right now and 2.6 as we go by to 2022. So a huge number of mobile interactions happening, and that's just a breakdown of the slide I just shared with you of how on two-wheelers and four-wheelers both, friction can just keep reducing if you just use mobile advertising effectively, the 1 million units I spoke about, and there's a 14.7% reduction in consumer friction across the funnel if you start leveraging mobile advertising and mobile marketing to the right way to talk to your consumers. These are some ideas of how to bust frictions. So there's some tests we are doing with a bunch of OEMs right now, right from people have shown interest, have test-driven the car, but get dropped off when it goes to sale. So how can we keep communicating with them through Facebook and through Instagram and keep them warm and hot, and therefore increase the conversion even after test drive to sale? So stuff like that. We're working with service booking kind of platforms also and seeing what we can do there. But basically, we're doing our bit and working together with the auto industry on seeing how we can help you reduce friction across awareness, consideration, and intent, and therefore help you grab a bigger share of the ever-increasing automobile pie that you all are part of. Again, I'm clarifying, not incremental, but it will be incremental going forward. As an OEM, how can you make use of this entire frictionless future and increase your sales within the thing? So mobile, as we say, will change consumer journeys. We are all moving towards a zero friction future. I gave you a few examples already happening. And in the auto industry also, it's already happening. I'll also give you, I have some time, so I'll give you another example of something we did with the telecom industry. We all know about Jio. So it's a use case study that we did with this, which I worked with the Jio team. Jio had a challenge when they launched. Everyone who was buying the Jio SIMs in the first 3 or 4 months were not the upmarket audience they were looking for, the people who would actually spend on data. Because no one wanted to stand in line for a SIM. They made for very cool PR stories or great tweets or great Facebook posts, but I'm not going to stand in line to get a SIM. It's just not me, right? And I'm not going to send my driver to get a SIM. That also doesn't make any sense. So what we went to them and told them is, why don't you leverage our targeting capabilities of reaching out to high-end phones, and let's target them with a home delivery message. Because people like that level do not want to go stand in line, but would love to have a SIM home delivered. They loved the idea. Within a week or 10 days, the system was put in place. There was a targeting done. They had tied up with, I think, one of the riders, Swiggy or one of the other guys, delivery guys. A person would go onto his Facebook account, would see the offer from Jio saying free SIM, would click saying, I want the SIM now. That would take him to an appointment booking procedure on the phone itself. He'd say 2 p.m., please deliver the SIM to my house. He'd enter his address, do a send. The message would go straight to the rider sitting in, say, Huda City Center, if I said a Nirvana country in Gurgaon. The guy would get a pop-up saying 2 p.m. deliver to Prasanjit at his house at this address. Within half an hour, the SIM was delivered, put into the phone. and he had the GeoSIM on his phone. Trying to reduce friction as much as possible, right from the moment I said, yes, I want to buy the SIM, to the SIM being in my phone, 30 minutes flat. I don't need to go stand in a line. I don't need to make some call to a call center that puts me into 5 different holes and makes me press through some 5 different buttons, and I mean, literally psychs the hell out of me, right? It's simple, it's easy, I wanted it, I got it. I spoke to you about the pizza example. It's happening in automobiles very soon. Yes, you probably can't buy a car online as soon, but can we at least make up our mind and at least almost close the sale? Can we improve the conversion of the funnel throughout to ensure we get a bigger share of this pie? We certainly can. It's happened across industries. It's already happening in the auto industry. So I'll end with the last slide. So 3 steps to therefore reduce friction in your business, just as a recap. First, map the friction points. I walked you through the funnel, the awareness, consideration, intent, purchase funnel. You have to go back and look at your businesses and map where are the points, the various touch points, right? And we had a couple of speakers talking about the dealer touch points and friction happening there. So what are the multiple touch points or the friction touch points? And how, therefore, can you sit down and put a friction busting plan to make sure that friction is minimal and you can actually drive far more conversions there and move towards the zero friction future? Is something that we'd love to work with you all together as Facebook. Thank you so much once again for having me here. And I hope I haven't taken too much time. The time has kept me true. Thank you so much. I'm happy to take questions at lunch or whenever it's convenient. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barua. I would like to request your presence on stage again because we would like to felicitate you. For this, I would request Mr. Nikunj Sanghi from FADA and Mr. Anuj Guglani to please come on stage to felicitate Mr. Barua.
Did you call me?
Yes.
Hi. Thanks, very nice. Really appreciate it.
Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, gentlemen.